Kathy Zelasko from Inspire Careers, here today with another episode of Spotlight on Careers. My guest today is Mika Zelasko, the founder and blogger at Hello Buffalo. And good morning, Ellen.
Hi, Kathy.
How are you today?
I'm good. It's nice to be here with you.
Thank you for joining us today. I think this is going to be a great segment. I don't think that people understand blogging very much, and I know you've had a lot of success with it, so I'm really excited to have you here.
Thanks. I'm excited to be here, Kath.
So to start out, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your career background, and tell us how you got into blogging.
Well, several years ago now, 2012, I lost a job that I absolutely loved, and I know that's happening to a lot of people out there right now as well. And I thought, oh, what am I going to do? People said, this is your chance to do your dream job. And I thought, that was my dream job. Now what am I going to do? I got a couple of other jobs and I had them for quite a few years and didn't really love them. And I started giving tours around Buffalo and decided to start a tour company, and I did that. And in the winter, I was kind of looking for something to do, so I started blogging. I started writing, and I found that I absolutely love it. And I can't imagine myself doing anything else at this point, even that old first job that I had that I loved so much.
You know, it's such a great point, is that sometimes things that are so traumatic end up opening new doors for us.
And it is traumatic.
It is, I know. Well, I've been there as myself, and now I am the same thing, doing a job that I know that I was destined to do. So it's absolutely true. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your blog? Tell us about the type of blog that you have. Tell us about the great features that you discuss, and tell us about what's happening with it.
I have done so much more than I ever imagined that I would be doing with this blog. The blog is called hellobuffalohikes.com. I am an urban hiker. I walk around the city of Buffalo and I check things out. I see things that I think are interesting, and I go home and I research them, or I meet people while I'm out on the street and I just start chatting with them. And people are so open in Buffalo and so friendly. The city of good neighbors is really true. I talk to people every time I'm out. Sometimes I just think about, like the other day I was downtown Buffalo and I thought, you know, the architecture down here is so fantastic. And I thought about my little granddaughter and how she thinks of like City Hall and the other buildings downtown as being castles. She thinks they're castles. So we went with it. We call them castles now. And so I thought, you know what, to look at it from a different perspective, I'm going to do one about that, Castles of Buffalo. And that's what I published today. And that's just kind of how it happens. Things just pop into my head and I go, you know, maybe I'd like to write about that. You know,
what's your favorite feature, the favorite blog that you've ever posted? Because I've read them all, but you know, and I know everybody probably has their own, but what's your personal favorite?
My personal favorite, I think, would have to be 888 Delaware Ave. It's a mansion in Millionaires Row down there on Delaware Ave, and I did it because my mother went to high school in that building. And I thought, you know, the history of the buildings are just, whenever I see a building, sometimes that I really love, or something, even sometimes it's broken down, I look at it and go, I wonder what that was. I wonder who the people are who lived there or worked there or whatever. So I got thinking about my mother's high school, and so I decided to research the history of it, and I did, and it turned out so well. So many graduates from her school, which is Bishop McMahon, got in touch with me and thanked me for showing them pictures of their memories, you know, bringing back memories for them. And it just meant so much to me, you know, so that's my favorite.
But that's the key of storytelling, and that's what blogging is, right? In many cases, you're telling stories, and telling stories from your perspective, for the type of blog you have, are for buildings that can't speak for themselves, right? And stories that people have forgotten. So that's where the interest comes in. People love that. People want to reconnect with the past and really understand how that's impacting our future.
And everything that I do always comes back to the people. Everything. Like the mansion that I did with my mother's high school. It was all about the family there, and about all the people that went to school there and the personal touches, you know. If I go out on a hike, sometimes I hike a street and I just start taking pictures of the beautiful homes that are there. We love to do that. We love to look at houses, right? Yeah. And there's always people out and they're always willing to talk. And sometimes it takes a completely different turn because somebody will say something to me, oh, come on into my backyard. And then I'm in someone's backyard looking at their fountains and their landscaping, and it's beautiful. You know, people are so friendly. Sometimes I think I know what I'm going to write, and then it turns out completely different and better and better.
Well, that keeps it fresh for you as well as for the reader.
It does, yeah.
So Ellen, if someone was interested in blogging, if someone has always kind of thought about, maybe I could do that, I'm not really sure what it entails. Can you talk a little bit about your recommendations for getting started, ways that maybe you got started, things that worked for you, things that didn't? But what would you tell someone that's new to blogging or is interested in getting started?
I would say be open, okay? Take classes. There's a lot of online classes that you can take that are reasonably priced. Learn from other bloggers, get together with other bloggers. I met a girl who, right from the local area here, who's a blogger, and I started getting together with her to discuss things. Be willing to learn. You learn a lot. I mean, I had no idea how to run a website. I would have told you that I was a decent user of computers before, and now, you know, it's like nothing for me to like change everything on a website, you know. You also need to find help from other people. I mean, you never really make it on your own, you know. There's always someone else who can help. Get yourself a decent laptop, a phone that can take decent photos, and just be open to ideas. And it's going to be a journey. It's not like you don't start off doing exactly what you think you're going to do, you know. I thought I was going to have like a lifestyle blog, but I'm so into history that it just kept coming into everything, and architecture and buildings and stuff like that, and just meeting people, that it turned into a completely different thing than I thought it would, and even better than it was, even better than I thought, I should say.
Well, this is what I hear from my clients all the time, is that they're looking for a way to fulfill their passion. They're looking for a way to be able to do what they want, to tell the stories that they want, to live the lifestyle that they want. So it sounds to me like you have control over your time, you have control over your work, you have control over your topics. But from a work perspective, give me an idea, give our listeners and our viewers an idea about like what your schedule's like. What would a typical blogger do in terms of, you know, how you balance the networking and the writing and the technical pieces of it? How do you get all that together?
Well, you fall into it. In the beginning, you think you're just going to sit down and in an hour and a half be done, write a blog post, you know. Sure. But especially in my line, with history and architecture being involved, there's research that's involved. I typically spend about a day on research, a few hours taking photos. If I'm meeting with someone, sometimes that's a few hours as well, or at least an hour or two, you know, to meet with someone. And then the writing. And then I have a thing where I go over it and over it and over it to try to make it perfect, even though I know nothing's perfect. And sometimes I make mistakes, you know, and people will call you out on it, you know. But and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm not wrong, I'll discuss, you know. But you fall into a pattern of how things work, and I always have to be willing to change as well, because change things up, because some things don't work. Sometimes things just don't work for me, and it's like, this isn't working, I have to change things up, and you adjust and you figure it out, you know. I would say beginning to end 3 solid days to do one blog post.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how often do you publish your blog posts?
Once a week. That's another thing. In the beginning, I was doing it a little bit as fun, just to fill up my website and whatever. And then probably in January, I got serious, and I said, all right, it's winter here. I have time. I need to start doing something every single week. And now I have people that come to me and say, I look forward to getting your email every Friday at 3:45, because that's when I send my emails out. You know, so now I'm like, I have to get it out by 3:45, you know. Normally I have it scheduled, but some weeks things fall apart. Like, you know, this week I got sick, And I just, one day this week, I just couldn't do anything. And so I kind of lost a day, but I'm a little bit ahead too. So like I say, 3 days, it takes me to do one, but I'm always working on something else, like the books that just recently came up. I think that might be coming into one of your other questions about how do you make money blogging.
That was my next question, because I know that's the question that our viewers are going to ask. So take it away, Ellen. How do you make money out of blogging? How does this become a revenue generator for you?
So there's affiliate marketing. That's where you see like Amazon ads and JCPenney and every Target and everything else that pops up. Those are pop-ups. There's that, and that's what they call passive income. You put it on your website and you just kind of leave it, you know. And if people click and buy things, then you get a little bit of a kickback. There are also a lot of people who are doing online courses. Okay, if you have a particular expertise, you can write yourself a course and sell them. Okay, huge. I've taken several of them. Blogging courses, I've taken several. Okay, just to learn more. I'm always willing to learn more, and maybe somebody knows one thing that I didn't hear before, you know. So people do that. So people they sell their online courses. I sort of fell into an income stream that I wasn't expecting, and I mentioned the blog before about 888 Delaware, the Goodyear mansion. I had, after I posted that, I had a lot of emails asking me to get printed copies as a book, and a lot of people wanted to buy them, and I thought, really? All right, you know. So I had to look into it, and that's another thing. You always got to be willing to do more, you know, to do more and to learn more and to continue, adjust. People wanted something, okay, I'm going to adjust and I'm going to figure this out. I found a place that publishes books for people like me who don't have an agent, and I don't have a publisher, and so I'm self-publishing, and people are loving them. I would call sales brisk. It's shocking me, but I'm loving it, you know. So you fall into these things, you know, and you figure it out as you go.
So Ellen, for those that are watching that are interested in beginning blogging, what pieces of advice would you give them just overall in terms of how to pick the type of topics that they want to do or how to get started? What would your final words of advice be for those folks?
I would tell them to pick your niche. Pick something that is going to be your passion, something that you're not going to get tired of. Okay, if you can, I read somewhere in the very beginning, if you can think of 6 months worth of ideas in your head of things to do, and that sounds overwhelming, but it's not. If you think one a week, you know, we're talking, it's 20 blogs. If you can think of 20 topics off the top of your head, that's something that you're going to be able to write about for a long time, because if you can think of them that quick. I started off thinking, oh, maybe I'll do a lifestyle, maybe I'll do a food blog, something, but then Buffalo kept popping back into my head, you know. Oh my God, I saw this great building, you know. So do that. Be consistent, because people look for it. And great content is important. If you're not writing something people like and that people want to hear, you're nowhere.
All right, perfect. Ellen, tell us again the name of your blog and how people can find your website.
The name of my blog is Hello Buffalo, and I am at hellobuffalohikes.com.
All right, and Ellen, what we'll do too is here for our viewers, we'll put the link to your website, and if people are interested in that book that you talked about, they can go there and they can order it from you.
Yeah, at the end of each one of my at each one of the posts, I have 3 now that are available. It's the 888 Delaware, Woodward Ave, and Castles of Buffalo, which is brand new out today. They can, when you read it at the bottom, there's a place where you can order it or subscribe to the website, and you'll get links every Friday at 3:45.
There you go. And that probably would be a good idea for people too, if they are interested in blogging, is to follow bloggers, to follow others and find out how they create content and maybe help them determine topics. Great. Excellent. Thank you, Ellen, thank you for your time today, Ellen. I appreciate it. If anyone has any questions for you about blogging, can they reach out to you on your website as well or through your Facebook page?
Facebook page, the best way to do it is to email me, and my email is on my website. It's right there. So
Okay, great.
that's the email, the best way.
All right,
Okay.
excellent. Thank you, Ellen. I appreciate you joining
Thanks so
us
much.
today on In Spotlight on Careers. I appreciate it. And congratulations on all of the great success that you've had on your blog. And thank you for bringing Buffalo to all of us. Again, the Buffalo we have not known and maybe always appreciated. So thank you.
Thanks for having me, Kathy. I had fun.
All right, bye-bye. Have a great day, all.